Yeah, welcome, welcome to the conversation we do have in financial management. In the previous conversations actually, we spent most of our time looking at cost of capital. The topic called cost of capital. Now, just a quick recap on the cost of capital. The items that you learn in cost of capital, basically you study what cost is involved when choosing whichever form of capital that you want to have. And just to remind the class, we made mention that capital of our company is made up of equity and also debt, right? We said that the capital of any company can be made up of equity and debt. And from the previous conversation, we made mention that uh, this equity or the capital that is raised by issuing of shares is never free, right? It's not free. You have to incur some cost. There is some cost that is always associated with that, right? There is that cost. There is cost associated with that, and that is called the cost of equity. And we also said on debt, there is a cost that is associated with debt in that you have to pay some interest among others, and that is called cost of debt. So what we covered under this unit was learning now how to come up with the costs of equity, cost of debt. How do you calculate the cost of equity using different models, eh? Using the capital asset price model, KPM, using the dividend growth model, right? Using the dividend growth model and the capital asset price model. Those are the ones that are used to find the cost of equity. We said that last time. From there, we also said that cost of debt as well needs to be, we need to find cost of debt, and there are various methods. Actually, there are two main methods that are used to find cost of debt. And finally, when we were, drawing closer to the end, we showed how to put together all these. Is that clear? Are we good? So we combine these four elements, the debt, the amount of debt, and the amount of equity into what is known as the weighted average cost of capital work. So this is what you have. You have what? Weighted average costs of capital. Is that clear? Are we still connected? Oh,
Yes, sir.
okay. So now, having talked about this, we want now to leave this section and start revising on a new topic, on another topic, investment appraisals. All right. We want to look at investments appraisals. Now, what is investment appraisals? Investment appraisals, these are techniques, all right? These are basically the techniques that are used to test the viability of an investment option. Listen, the business does engage into different transactions. There are different transactions that the business engages in. And as the business does that, one thing that you'll notice is that the the transactions that the business engages in and all these investment options, the business who may not have capacity to do all of them. Yeah, they have to choose which one is more profitable. They want to choose which one is less risky. Right? So the key things that are considered in choosing these elements is the risky and also the return. Right? So we want to check which one gives us higher return and which one is less risky. There are these techniques that are used to test the viability. And they are the ones that we call investment appraisals. And those are the ones that we cover under investment appraisals. One, we consider the following methods. Number one, net present value approach, NPV. Net present value approach is one of the methods that is used to test the viability of an investment option. Two, there is also what we call the accounting rate of return. Accounting rate of return. It is also used to test the viability of an investment option. We do also have IRR, internal rate of return. The internal rate of return is also one of the techniques or the tools that are used. And finally, we have the payback period. We have the payback period. Not really the list from the list that we have. We have these four because these are the ones that are usually examined, right? From what we have seen so far, these are the ones that are usually asked. So we need to know how to compute the NPV and how to choose an investment option using NPV, using ARR, using IRR, and using the payback period. Is that clear? It's an introductory session to investment analysis. Are we still connected? Do we have any question? Any
So
question?
far, so good.
Thank you very much. Now let's continue. I'm still giving you a roadmap of what really is involved under each. Then we'll zero in and pick some examples. So we do have the first one. Let me start with the payback period. Yeah, the payback period. What really this covers. Now, under the payback period, listen, this one just measures how long, or basically the period of time it takes, it takes for an investment, to give back all the total cost injected, or for an investment to have cash outflow equal cash inflow. That is a bit technical. Cash inflow is basically the cash that is flowing into the business from the project, right? Basically more like the return, what you get from the project, that's inflow. And outflow is what you inject into the project. So that's the cost of the project. Now listen, how long does it take for you to recover your money that you invested in the investment option, right? You invest in this business, then the question is that how many years does it take for me to get back all the money that I injected? Yeah. Okay. So that is what we call payback period. And the investment option, which has a shorter payback period, is always desired. We mean that one which is able to pay you back your money as very quick as possible. It is what is usually desired. Okay. So for example, many people, most of us, don't really pay attention that, for example, education, the money that you pay, for example, school fees, is an investment. Yeah, you've seen these things. The money that you are injecting now to get your degrees, that is an investment. That's costs of the investment. All the money you are paying, including all the money that you are paying for tuitions, everything, including the school fees, all that money is put together. Then at the end of the day, the Vice Chancellor of the University of Zambia shall confer a degree on you, and you have that degree of yours, which is actually what you're going to get from your investment. Now, from that time, your degree has to work again to get back the money that you injected. You get the point? So the question of the day is, how long does it take you to recover your money that you injected in the, in that investment option? Sometimes it is possible to recover. Sometimes it may be possible to recover the whole money that you injected within 1 year. You recover all the money. You get the point, eh? All the money that you injected, but not really, taking into account of the time that you spent, but we're just talking about the monetary value. You may recover. You may. Sometimes it may take you 2 years for you to get back all the money. Others, it may even take them 5 years to get back all the money they injected. I don't know if there are others that I'm not certain. If others, it can take them 10 years. But from deductive reasoning, it may even take them that long. That simply means if the inflows are not really massive, yeah, like small amounts, for example, from that degree of you're just getting small amount as a return, right? It may take you time. But the question of the day is, how long does it take for you to get back your money? That is what matters according to this approach. It is called the payback period. Yeah. When you build, for example, a house, yeah, you build a house, for example. The question is, you inject whatever millions to build that house. Then the question is that, how long is that house from the time you're done building? How long is it going to, the cash flows from that investment, how long are they going to equal the cost, how much you injected in coming up with that infrastructure or that asset? So that's the thinking, involved in payback period. Okay. Do I have any question there? Don't worry, I'm introducing this topic. It's very important, and you will have actually a question on not really on payback period, on investment analysis. You always have a question every year from investments or appraisals. Any question on the payback period? Confirm we are still connected.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Then the second one that I want us to consider, we have gotten the focus of this one, is the net present value. Net present value. Now, remember, when you inject some money right now into a certain project, that the money that you inject is called the costs, right? So when you inject that particular cost of money, there will be some money that you're going to receive from the project. You project some amount in the future. You're saying, okay, this project that we are going to get in the first year, it will give us this much. This investment, in the first year, it will give us this much. In the second year, it will give us, sorry, in the first year, it will give us 100,000. In the second year, it will give us 700,000. In the third year, it will go down again, give us 500,000. In the fourth year, it will give us 800,000. In this, you get the point, right? Like, those are just projected amounts in the future. Now, since these amounts are in the future, I want you to pay attention. You have to discount these cash flows back to the present, bring them to now. So there is usually a rate. We call it a discounting rate that is used to bring back these, cash flows to the present. Okay. So you have to discount these, like this 500, for example, is coming after 1 year. We do know from the time value of money that concept we covered, we learned that the value of money today is not same, shall not be the same after some time from now, after 1 year, after 5 years from now. Therefore, it is very important that when we are doing the analysis, we try to question what is then the value of 500, which is coming 2 years from now. What is its value now, like as of now? Okay, as of now, how much is it? Again, we go to the second day. This 700 is coming after 2 years. What this 700, which is coming after 2 years, what is its equivalent value right now? You do the same for this one, which is coming after 3 years, and this one. That process is called the discounting the future values to present values. So all those futures, those values that you find are present values. When you consolidate them, listen, the summation of the present values, you add it minus the cost of the investment. The difference that you find is what you call the net present value. Don't worry, you'll be fine. Consolidate the present values that you find, the present values of these future cash flows, right? Add it together. Then from there, deduct the cost of the investment. Now listen, the difference you find is called the net present value. Okay. Now, the net present value can either be negative or positive. If you find that if this cost, the cost is higher than the total cash inflows, you get the point, eh? If you find that the money that you receive from the investment is less than how much you invested, you have a negative NPV. The NPV will be negative. You get it, eh? If the NPV is negative, it simply means the money you invested is more than what you received from the project. Therefore, we do not recommend at this point that you invest in this particular project because like this project is not very profitable. It's not highly profitable. You get a point, eh? The investment is not highly profitable. Why is it not highly profitable? It is not profitable because the amount that we are injecting is higher than what we receive from it. All right. But what about when it is positive? If it is positive, it means that what we receive from the investment is higher than what we injected. For that reason, we invest in this project or we accept the project. You're following the thinking, eh? If we find that the NPV is positive, we accept the project. But what if we find that it is a zero? Because a zero is neither positive nor negative, neutral. At that point, it means that the project is breaking even. So when the project breaks even, it simply means that the amount that you injected is equal to what you receive. In other words, you get exactly what you inject. Now, can you just imagine? Who invests so that they could get exactly what they're investing after all this time that has gone? I think it doesn't make sense, isn't it? So that's the interpretation of the net present value. And we are going to do an actual question on each of these that I'm presenting. Okay. And finally, you do have also the IRR. The IRR, the internal rate of return. This one just seeks to question at what interest rate, what return, all right, do we get from the project? What return do we get from? We get from the project. So we are comparing the return from the project versus or vis-a-vis the expected return or the average return. So you are comparing the actual return from the project vis-a-vis the average return or the expected return. In other words, when you want to invest in this project, you tell yourself that if the return is less than 10%, we are not going to inject in the money. So this is our expected return. We don't expect to receive anything less than, say, 10%. Eh? Then we are going to do some computations, as we are going to see, to determine this rate now, the actual rate. Now, when you find the actual rate, the actual return from on the investment expected to have, you don't invest in the project. Okay, but if the actual return is higher than what we expected, we invest in the project. But if they are equal, it means that the project is breaking even, all right? Which means that you are getting exactly what you invested in the projects. So basically, in a nutshell, this is what is covered under investment, see, appraisals. Let me call for questions. Is there any question? Do we have any question? Okay, so what we are going to do now, from now onwards, actually immediately after, towards the end of this very day, I think maybe before 20 hours, 24 hours, or by tomorrow, we are sharing, I'll begin by sharing, I'll share a recording on by tomorrow, this evening, that talks about payback period. I'll also share another one that talks about net present with examples now, exam question examples. And also the other one that talks about the payback period, net present value, payback period, and all those. Like there will be exam questions. So that when we meet again next time, we can try other questions. We can practice. As for now, if there are no questions, can end here. Thank you so much.